Some people aren't meant to stay in your life. And the sooner you accept that God removes for a reason, the faster you'll step into what He's actually preparing you for. Because what feels like rejection is often divine protection. And you don't see it yet, but He does. You thought that friend, that relationship, that mentor, that group of people was sent to grow with you. But God saw the moment they would stop growing and start dragging. And so He quietly stepped in and started creating distance. And you felt it, didn't you? The unanswered texts, the weird tension, the sudden shift, you blamed yourself. But this was God pulling you back from a connection that couldn't go where He's taking you. He knows what's ahead, and He knows what they would have done behind your back if He let them get any closer. Proverbs 27:6 says, "Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful." Some people kiss you with compliments while secretly envying your calling, and God sees what you can't. You prayed for purpose, for clarity, for elevation, but here's the truth. Purpose often requires pruning, and pruning is painful. God removed Abraham from his relatives before birthing a nation through him, Genesis 12, and Jesus Himself had to leave His hometown because familiarity breeds dishonor. A prophet is not without honor except in his own town. Mark 6, verse 4. You keep wondering why you feel so alone lately. But isolation isn't punishment, it's preparation. Some people can't handle the weight of your next season, and God isn't trying to be cruel. He's being strategic. That friend who constantly pulled you into drama, that relationship that drained you spiritually, that group chat that slowly poisoned your mindset. God saw how much it was costing your peace, your focus, your anointing. And He let it fall apart, not because it wasn't real, but because it wasn't sustainable. And deep down, if you're honest, you knew. You knew they didn't pray like you, didn't hunger for God like you, didn't take your calling seriously. And yet you clung to the familiar because letting go felt like failure. But Romans 8:28 doesn't say all things feel good. It says they work for your good, and God will let you cry now if it means you'll stand later. The shocking truth is that some of the people God removes were answers to prayers from your past season, but what served you in the wilderness can't survive in the promised land. You've been asking God for next level clarity, deeper intimacy, stronger discernment. So He starts trimming. Because every time He wants to grow you, He has to separate you. Look at Joseph. His brothers hated him, sold him, betrayed him, but if they hadn't, he would have never reached the palace. Genesis 50:20. Some betrayals are actually accelerations in disguise. And the real danger isn't losing them, it's delaying your destiny by trying to drag them with you. You were never meant to fix what God already removed. Some of you are begging for reconciliation with people who were only loyal to your broken version. God isn't going to bless who you pretend to be just to keep someone around. The real you, the healed you, the focused you, the on fire for God you, scares people who loved you better when you were insecure and settling. That's why they left. That's why it ended. That's why it shifted. Not because something is wrong with you, but because something is finally right. And the enemy will whisper, "You're being too much. You're changing, you're pushing people away." No, you're growing. And not everyone grows with you. The disciples left everything to follow Jesus, and He warned them in Luke 14:26 that if anyone isn't willing to leave even family for Him, they're not ready. Harsh? Maybe. True? Absolutely. Because spiritual maturity means choosing purpose over popularity and peace over proximity. You can love someone deeply and still recognize they're not aligned with your calling. That's not pride, that's protection. God isn't just separating you from them, He's sanctifying you for Him. You've been marked, and with that comes separation. You've been set apart, and with that comes misunderstanding. But take heart, Jesus was misunderstood too. He had crowds during miracles, but stood alone during the cross. And if you want resurrection power, you'll have to endure the silence of separation. This is your warning. Stop trying to revive what God allowed to die. Stop texting what He buried. Stop mourning what He already moved you from. Your destiny isn't behind you, it's waiting on the other side of obedience. And yes, obedience hurts. Yes, it's lonely. Yes, you'll question it. But the reward of obedience is always greater than the pain of disconnection. So here's your challenge. Trust the removal. Trust the silence. Trust the pruning. Because when God pulls you away from certain people, it's not rejection, it's redirection. And on the other side of that separation is a future so aligned, so anointed, and so protected, you'll thank Him one day for every goodbye you didn't understand.